Hello, 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 hello. Hi, Robin, and hi, Becky. How are you two doing? Yes, indeed, it is cold and snowy here in Maryland. I don't know how many inches we got, but we got some inches here, and it is freezing, freezing, freezing cold. It's cold everywhere. It's snow everywhere. Oh my goodness, this Arctic air is coming through, and it is really, really putting a toll on a lot of people. A lot of people. So hopefully everybody will stay safe, stay in if you can, stay off those roads, and just let this storm pass by and let the roads get better and all of that before we get out there in it. So that's my prayer and hope for everybody. So, hello to all of the people out there in YouTube land, Facebook land. Thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it. Thank you to all of you, and hello to everybody that will be watching the rerun or the replay. I do appreciate that as well. And hello to everybody that is out there that does not come into the chat, but you do view um, the conversation that we have and you're looking at the live stream. I appreciate that as well because I know every time I get off of the live and I look at my analytics, I see it was tons of people that were watching that didn't come into the chat, but that's okay. We do welcome you here. We love to have your feedback, but we do appreciate the fact that you do watch the live. So, hello to you. Welcome. Happy New Year, as well as stay safe and stay warm because this weather is something else. Hi, Terry. Hi, Betty Lloyd Vasquez. Hi, Evelyn. Hi, Val. And I spoke to Robin and Becky already. And so glad that you guys have joined. And just as you know, waiting to see who all else is going to come in. I tell you, I'm the only time I like snow is on Christmas Day. I love a white Christmas. I'm I'm a tradition on that part. Beautiful white Christmas. Other than that, I can do without the snow. But I tell you what I saw today that I really love as well. That was just so cute. We saw three deers. I started to say reindeer. We saw three deers out in the back behind our complex. And in that snow and out there in the wooded area, they were kind of camouflaged a little bit. You could hardly see them because their color blended in with the color of the trees, the wood, and everything. But it was three of them out there, and it looked so beautiful. I love seeing the deers in the snow. Now, I don't know if the deers love to be in the snow, but that is really a beautiful sight to see the deers. I hope they can stay safe and warm and get food as well, because we do feed them. Um, because we love animals. Hi, Dorothy. How you doing? Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Hi, Joyce from Philly. How are you? And who else has hopped in? Evelyn. Oh, you say you loved my jean pocket embroidery. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So you got a chance to see that. Good. That was a lot of fun. Um, as I mentioned in the video, I didn't struggle with the process itself. It was just trying to figure out the design I was going to use, and then I actually went back, as I stated, to the original design. But I do like the way it turned out. So thank you so much. And I sent you a message, Evelyn. I don't know if you got the message or not, but I did try to message you on Messenger. So if you got it, just let me know. And if you didn't get it, I'm going to put my email on here. And if you can email me, I'd appreciate it because I do want to speak privately with you if you don't mind. So I am going to just let me know if you got it through Messenger. If not, then I'll put my email up. So appreciate that. So what time is it? Got a few more minutes before I get started. And okay, you'll check. Okay, good. Thanks. I know if you're like me, I don't check all my messenger stuff that much. And I think I got in touch with you through Messenger. If not Messenger, it might have been on your Facebook. So, and if it was on your Facebook, you probably didn't see it because, that stuff runs through. So just let me put my email up here. I'll just do that because the more I think about it, the more I think I put it on Facebook to you. So you may not have seen it. But anyway, that is my email address that is scrolling by right now. If you can just jot that down, shoot me an email so I can have your email, and then I'll reach out to you. Hi, Carol. How you doing? You said all is warm up to it warmed up to 3 above here in Montana. Yeah, because it was much colder. That's your heat wave. But you said it was 20 plus below zero days on your you spent the days on your embroidery machine, so you're happy. I get that. I would do that too. So it has warmed up to 3 above, so that is a heat wave, considering it was 20 plus below zero in Montana. Bless your heart and everybody else that's up there in Montana and Dakotas and Wisconsin and all of those, New York and Connecticut, all up way, way, way north where they're getting all of this frigid, frigid weather. And just stay safe and stay warm and stay on your machine and have fun. And thanks for stopping in. Yes, indeed. So, anyway, Evelyn, did you get my email that's scrolling across? Let me know so I can take it down. Um, I don't want that distraction going on right now. So today, this is Shirley with Tuesdays, Wine Down Tuesday, and I'm drinking my blackberry wine, Stella Rosa Black, not blackberry, I'm sorry, this is the blueberry. I like blackberry and I like blueberry. Those have become my favorite wines. The Moscato d'Asti was what started me with drinking the Stella Rosa, but now they have so many different fruity flavors that something flickered on my computer. Don't know what that was, but thank goodness it came back. But anyway, I'm drinking the blueberry, and okay, you got it. Perfect. So I'll go ahead and take that down. And like I said, just drop me an email so I'll have your email address, and then I'll email you and let you know what my question was. So I am going to go ahead and get started. Tonight, we're going to talk about when do you know that you are ready to start selling your craft items that you make? Mainly talking about embroidery, but I do know that many of us do other things besides embroidery. We do sublimations and we do rhinestone, we do knitting and crocheting and quilting, and I'm sure a lot of other things that I may not be aware of. And if you're like a lot of people that I've spoken to, you're kind of hesitant as to whether or not you're good enough, your stuff is good enough to sell. And I just wanted to address that because I've heard that question brought up several times in the group that we work with together, as well as on Facebook and different different groups and stuff that I belong to, that I've seen people ponder that question. And so I thought I'd touch on that a little bit today, and you guys chime in and see, put your comments and all of that in there. Hi, Marissa. How you doing? So um, it boils down to confidence in your work, and you pretty much can tell if you're spank brand new with embroidery. Say you just got an embroidery machine, and this is something else that I've seen. I've seen people that get an embroidery machine, be it a single needle or a multi needle. Usually it's a single needle. And then they instantly, automatically want to start a business. They say, okay, I'm ready to go, start making stuff and selling it. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Then I see the opposite end of the spectrum where people have had their machines for quite a while, some people even years, and they don't have the confidence yet that my stuff is good enough to sell. And my question is, why do you question yourself? And the reason I ask that is because you see what you do and you know something about embroidery. So you know whether or not it looks good to you. And if you've had people that you shared your projects with, they'll let you know as well whether or not they think it looks good. So, with that being said, you should have a little confidence. So, I decided to do a little research, a little background on this, and see what the quote unquote experts are saying about this. And then I'll put my little 2 cents into it as well. So, as we know, machine embroidery is a rewarding and creative hobby that can also be a source of income. However, to sell your products, you need to have confidence in your skill and quality of your work. And so I did an AI search and it came up with 10 ways to build confidence in your machine embroidery skills. And my thought process is that once you feel like your skill is at the level that you are making good items, then you can think about maybe doing some selling, not necessarily a business. I'm not really promoting starting a business. That's a whole different process. I'll touch on that a little bit, but I'm talking about just the mere fact that instead of constantly making something and giving it away, make a little money off of it because embroidery is not cheap. You can make things, and I know people ask, "Can you make this for me? Can you make that for me?" And don't just say, "Yeah, I'll make it," and just give it away. Say, "Yeah, I'll make it, and I'll charge you X, Y, Z for it," because you got to pay for the materials and everything to make it. So you might as well do that. So let me tell you what the first and most important in my mind attribute that you need to build your confidence in your embroidery. And this goes with any crafting hobby that you have or anything that you're doing. It's not just specific to embroidery, because as I mentioned, I know we do a lot of other things, but this all works together. And the very first thing is practice, practice, practice. You cannot ever practice enough. The more you practice your embroidery, the better you will get, the more you will learn, and the more you will improve. You need to try different designs, different fabrics, different threads, such as metallic and variegated and cotton and rayon and polyester and poly polylite, all kinds of different threads. You need to try them, see how they work. Stabilizers, different types of stabilizers. As we all know, it's so many different types. You have your tearaway, your cutaway, your melt away, your water solubles, all of these things that the fusibles is so many different types, and even within the types there are different weights. So you need to try all of these different stabilizers so you know how to use them and when to use them. And then of course you have different techniques such as your appliques, your raw appliques, your reverse appliques, um, satin stitches and all the different other kind of stitches, bean stitches, um, the density, adjustment of that, and even designs. Which designs work are you the most comfortable with? What kind of fonts are you most comfortable with? What software are you most comfortable with? What type of design editing are you comfortable with? Can you do these kinds of things? Are you using a software? Are you using designs as is and only as is because you're afraid to manipulate your designs to the point where it works for you? These things you need to work on, and all of this is part of your practice. The more you practice doing these things, the better you will become, and the more things you'll be able to do, and that's going to build your confidence. And it goes back to, like I said, practice, practice, practice. The number two thing is take a class or watch a tutorial. That's why you have content creators like myself, like Jeanette, like the Crafty Puerto Rican, like, gosh, so many people out there. Katrina, I can't even name them all. There's so many people out here that are showing you how to do things. Now, I do caution you with that is because everybody that does a tutorial or show you how to do something may or may not be giving you the best instructions. And because I've had that happen to me, I've tried to follow and it didn't work. So you need to kind of look at a lot of different people and then make a decision. Who do you trust? Who do you feel the most confident in their technique? Take Becky Thompson with Power Tools and Threads. Now, I would recommend anybody to watch her, especially if you're a beginner, and especially if you're doing some type of project that you may have gotten from Design by Juju, because they are uh, partners, I'm assuming, and people. She does a lot of her designs. She does tutorials on it. But the reason I mentioned her and beginners is because she is a wonderful teacher. She breaks down her tutorials so basic that anybody should be able to follow it. If you're brand new to embroidery, it really works for you because she goes through the basics. I know sometimes when I'm watching her, I was like, okay, hurry up and get to the point. I kind of know what you're doing. I just want to see the technique. But I don't blame her for that because that is her PowerPoint. That is where she excels, and that's why she's so good at what she does, because she will tell you step by step by step by step, inch by inch how to do something. And if you follow her, you will definitely be able to complete whatever project that is. So people that are skillful like that you trust, that can show you how to do something and show you step by step how to do something, then you're going to learn. And that's how you build your skill up as well. I watch a lot of people. When I want to do something, especially if I want to do something just simply for myself and I don't put it online, I'm watching videos. When I'm doing something that I do want to put on my channel, I'm watching people. And I watch several people because I want to see the different ways people do things. And then I select the technique I'm most comfortable with that I think is going to work best for me. A lot of times, people will be doing things on a single needle machine. You will find more tutorials and online classes or workshops or what have you that focus on the single needle machine and doing a project. I don't see a lot of people that will do tutorials and what have you using a multi-needle machine. That's one of the reasons why I continue to use the multi-needle machine for my presentation, because I want to be able to capture the audience that have multi-needle machine, because it's a lot of us that do. And if I see you do a mug rug on a single needle machine, okay, well, how you do that on a 10 needle machine or 15 needle machine? If I see you do um, a hoodie or a onesie or anything like that, you know, whatever you're doing on a single needle machine, just like when I was working on a single needle machine, I want to see how you can do that on a multi needle machine. Perfect example when I wanted to do those book covers, those composition book covers, and all of the videos that I saw that showed you how to do it were all on single needle machine. I'm using a multi-needle machine, and there were some things that you had to manipulate on there that require you to have a flat surface, and therefore I needed to figure out how can I do that on my 10-needle machine. So when I started doing the disorderly thread zipper purses, the only viable tutorial that I saw was done on a single needle machine. And it was doing step by step, this, that, and the other and stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, I got to figure that out. And even the direction, they'll tell you that you need to have it to the left. And then for me, it meant I had to have it to the right or so forth and so on. Little things like that make you wonder. So that's why I like doing stuff on the 10 needle machine. But I digress. I just wanted to point out that it is important to take classes, watch tutorials online. If you have the opportunity to find a free or paid course that you can actually go to, I mentioned the videos, blogs, podcasts, books, and magazines. All of these things cover different things and techniques about embroidery. You need to immerse yourself in those things. And it also says you can join a local or online embroidery club or community and learn from other embroiderers. Like the when you go on Facebook, they have all these different groups that you can join, and you see where people are getting help for digitizing, help for where to find designs and fonts and how to do this, that, and the other. So those are good avenues as well to um, develop your skill. Number three, get feedback and advice. Ask for honest and constructive feedback from your friends, families, and customers if you have any, or fellow embroiderers. That's where it is really helpful to be in some type of group, especially if you can do it live or like we do it via Zoom. And there are other people that are doing Zoom classes with other folks. That's good. People can see what your work looks like. Um, and just ask people that you've given something to. When I first started embroidering, I took pictures of everything. I've gotten really lax on that, but every time I made something, I took a picture of it because I was so thrilled and so proud. And to me, it looked good. And I took pictures and I floated it out to my family, and they'd get back to me and tell me it was cute or ask me a question or what have you. And that was what I did. Like I said, with everything that I made. And then the other thing that I decided to do was to give people. I would make stuff and I'd send it out to my friends that live back in the Midwest. And I wanted to get the feedback. What do you think? Would you pay for this? Is it good enough to buy? And so I was testing my skills. Um, I do have to admit, as I mentioned in the very beginning about people getting a machine and then you instantly think that you could do a business. I did that. I did. I got my machine and I practiced and practiced and practiced, and I messed up and messed up. And after I had had it for several months, I got bold and I thought, okay, yeah, I can start making stuff to sell. But I didn't try to sell anything initially. I made a couple of shirts for one of the doctors that worked where I was. She had some cute little girls, and I gifted her shirts for her little girls. And as I look back on that, they were a hot mess. I'm glad that I didn't try to sell anything. Um, and I'm glad I did because that would have been embarrassing. They were a hot mess. They looked good, but it was the wrong stabilizer. And it just was not up to par. It wasn't something that people would pay for. Looking back on those shirts, I wouldn't pay for them. I wouldn't sell them, but I didn't know. But I didn't start selling anything. But I did think, oh yeah, I could do it. But no, I couldn't. I needed more practice, and more practice. And when I look back on the things that I did the very first year I started embroidering, even though I thought a lot of those things looked good, and look at what I do now, I see a significant difference. I see a greater um, skill. I know when something is not right. I know pretty much how to fix it. That's the key too. Just because something doesn't turn out right doesn't mean that you can't improve upon it, or fix it, or catch it, or what have you, to make it right. And that was something that I had to learn because I didn't know that. I thought, you messed up, it's ruined. No, not necessarily. There are ways to fix mistakes, or catch a mistake before it gets too far. So those are things that you learn. Um, and back to the feedback, it says, find out what they like and dislike about your products and what suggestions they have for improvement. You can also ask for advice on specific issues or challenges you face, such as choosing the right design, fabric, thread, stabilizer, or hoop size for a project. And that's when you reach out to your fellow embroiderers. That's when you reach out to a group like this, or the group like our Zoom group, or even on my Facebook, on my YouTube channel in the community, or when I put a video out and people ask questions. So they ask me, how did I do this, or where did I get this, or what did I use, and stuff like that. So that's how people are learning. And it helps because if you want to try it, you want all of the particulars that can help you. So that's number three. Number four, compare yourself to yourself and not others. That's a big one because you cannot expect to be as proficient as someone that has been doing it longer than you. If you've only been embroidering for a year or two or three, and you have connection with people like Miss Banks, and she just popped on and, hi Taisha, how you doing? For somebody that has been embroidering for 35 years, I'm not going to try to compete with her. Now, do I want my skill to be at her level? Of course. But if my skill is not at her level at this point, I'm not upset about it because I don't have the same amount of time that I've been working on mine. I'm working my way up to that. And I learn how to do something better or different or what have you. But yeah, I compare myself to myself, like I mentioned just a minute ago, looking at what I did a year ago compared to what I do now. I'm a whole lot better, extremely better. I had an issue today when I haven't put the video up yet, but when I do put it up, nobody's going to know that because I didn't put it on the video, but I had to do some adjustment. I did a video on doing embellishment on a blouse. I did the embellishment on a pair of jeans yesterday, and I did a video today on embellishment on a white blouse. It's hanging up in the back. You can see it a little bit, but I did the cuffs as well as a pocket. And I wanted to put designs on the cuffs, but because I'm short and the sleeves are long, I always fold my cuffs up. So I put the design on the cuff so it'll show like it's supposed to show with the cuff up like that. And I showed you how to do that and make sure that it it's going to come out the way you want it to come out. So that part I did okay, but I had to do some adjustment when it came down to um, positioning. That's the only thing it was. It was just a positioning. You want both sleeves to look exactly the same, and it's kind of hard to do that. But I showed you how I did everything, so you'll see that video tomorrow when I put it up. But you have to pay attention and you have to learn. And I stitched it and I realized, okay, this is not exactly the way I want it. So I had to go back, take those stitches out. And I was watching it, so I didn't stitch a lot. So it wasn't a lot of having to rip it out. But I did that. But I was able to adjust it exactly the way I wanted it. Now, in the past, I wouldn't have been able to do that. That just would have been a messed up blouse, and I would have been all upset. But I wasn't upset. I just said, okay, because I knew I had to watch it. Even though I did the camera on it and all of that, I thought it was okay, but I said, I got to make sure. And just the way it started stitching, and I looked at it, I could tell right then it is not exactly where I wanted. So I stopped it, picked those stitches out, moved it, did the camera on it again, and then boom, it was in the right spot, and I kept going. I wouldn't have been able to do that a couple of years ago. I'm telling you. So you learn. You learn by practice, 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 and watching and reading and just paying attention to your machine and learning your machine and the functionality of your machines and how to work it and everything. So, like I said, don't compare yourself to anybody else. It's natural to look at other embroiderers' work and feel inspired or intimidated. However, do not let comparison discourage you or make you doubt your abilities. Remember that everyone has their own style, pace, and level of experience. Focus on your own progress and achievements and celebrate your improvements and accomplishments. Number 5, set realistic and attainable goals. That's always, every time you plan to do anything, you got to have goals, goals, goals. But that's the only way you know what it is you want to do and how you're planning on getting there and to know when you're there. You got to have goals. So, having goals can motivate you and help you measure your growth. However, make sure your goals are realistic and attainable based on your current skills, resources, and time. So you got to practice, of course. You got to have the right machine. Don't try to do something with a single needle machine that can only be done easily or correctly with a multi needle machine. Or there are some things that you don't need to do on a multi-needle machine that will work better on a single needle machine. So you have to have your resources. And other resources are the proper thread, the proper needle, the proper hoops. Um, Again, in the video that's coming up, I put a design on the pocket as well. And I tell you about what my decision was with that particular process in the video that you'll see. So you have to have your proper resource and your time. Don't rush through it. I know for a fact when I'm rushed on time, that's when I make mistakes. So you got to make sure that you plan your day if you have work to do or you want to do work and that you have the time to do it. If something comes up that is going to alter your time, you may need to set that project aside and go ahead and do whatever else it is that you need to do, then come back to it. Because if you try to rush the situation, that's when you usually mess up. And then it says, for example, instead of aiming to embroider a complex design on a difficult fabric in an hour, start with a simple design on an easy fabric in a reasonable time frame. Break down your goals into smaller, manageable steps and reward yourself when you reach them. Number 6, challenge yourself and step out of your comfort zone. Now, that sounds contradictory. While it's important to set realistic goals, it's also good to challenge yourself and try something new or different once in a while. Now, that's something that I strongly believe in. I believe that you really need to um, just try to do something new. I'm always thinking about what else can I do to put on my channel? What else can I do? What else? I don't want to constantly be doing the same thing or even the same thing I see everybody else do. I mean, that's easy to do. That you stick with the trends and like everybody's doing the mama sweatshirts. I've not done the mama sweatshirt. Now I did do a mama claws for Christmas, but I haven't done the mama sweatshirt. Not to say I'm not going to, because I am, because I really want to, because I think it's cute. But we get, all of us did the curved neck. I did it because I wanted to see if I could. That was my main reason for doing it. So it's nothing wrong with following the trends and seeing if you can do that yourself, because that's what I do. If I see a trend and I see everybody's doing it, I'm not doing it to copy what everybody else is doing. I'm doing it to see, can I do that? Especially if it's something different and unique, like the curved words. I thought that was really cute and unique, and people are still doing it. So I tried it. When I saw people stitching on the hats, on the straw hats for the summer, I thought that was pretty cool. So I tried it. And of course, doing your hats with the puff designs and different stuff like that that I've done. I try those things because I think they're neat and something that I want to see. Can I do it? And then show you guys how to do it. So you challenge yourself. So I'm constantly looking at what can I learn and what can I show you guys how to do. And to keep it interesting for myself and to grow my skills and hopefully help you guys grow your skills. So it's important to expand your skills, creativity, and confidence. For example, you can try a new design, new fabric, thread, stabilizer, or techniques that you have never used before. You can also enter a contest, join a swap, or participate in a charity project that requires you to embroider something outside of your comfort zone. Now, I've not made a lot of uh, those little vinyl, what is it, where you put your the sanitizer lotion and lipsticks and lip chaps and stuff. I've not made a lot of those things. They're cute, but I haven't spent a lot of my time and energy making those things because it's not something of interest to me. But I know it's a trend, and I know you can sell them and make money. So I do have some designs that I need to just kind of force myself to do it. So for me, that would be a challenge to do key fobs and do those little purses and just all those little crafty things that I see a lot of people doing that may be fun. I don't know. And hi, Ann. I saw you pop in. I'm sorry. I saw you pop in, and I see that you're getting ready to leave. So I just wanted to speak to you and say hi. Thank you for stopping in, and hopefully you'll stop by later another time. So hi, Ann. Um, so let me get back to what I was saying. I didn't want to not acknowledge her. I didn't know she was leaving so soon. Um, so, number 7, keep a portfolio or journal of your work. A portfolio or journal is a great way to document your work and track your progress. You can take photos of your finished products, write notes about the design, fabric, thread, stabilizer, and technique you use, and record any feedback or comments you receive. You can also write about your challenges, solutions, and learnings. Reviewing your portfolio or journal can help you see how far you have come, what you have learned, and what you can improve. Now, I think that's an excellent, excellent, excellent idea. I personally have not done that. Like I mentioned in the beginning, I used to take a picture of everything I had, and I still take a lot of pictures, but I don't do it as religiously as I did in the beginning because a lot of times I'm, especially if I'm making something for somebody, I make it, pack it, ship it, and then after it's gone, I said, "Dadgummit, I didn't even take a picture of it," because my mind is doing it and getting it out the door, doing it and getting it out the door. Usually, if I'm doing something for fun, or just making it like the jeans I did yesterday. I didn't make they're mine. I didn't make them for somebody else, so that's for fun. And those are the type of things that I usually would take a picture of because they're still hanging around. But I have to remind myself that I need to take a picture of everything that I do. Um, because I was putting things up on a website. And now I got another website, but I haven't put anything on there. And I know one of the main reasons I haven't put anything on there is because I keep forgetting to take pictures. That's terrible. I got to get better at that. So this journal situation and portfolio, I am definitely going to start doing that. That I'm going to add to my New Year. I don't even want to say resolution. I want to say New Year goals. Like I mentioned the goals before, because I think that's a really, really good idea, especially when you're looking at what you use. That's another thing that I'm not good at, that I should get a lot better at. When I do a project, I don't always write down the thread color, the stabilizer, and my memory is not that good. I have some things that I got to work on tomorrow, or probably won't be Thursday because that's when I go get my tooth pulled. Oh my God! So depending upon how I feel, it might not get done until this weekend. But I know I have some things, some stuff that's supposed to get arrive tomorrow, where I got to get out. And I've done the before. I took pictures, but I didn't write down the color thread. So now I'm going to be trying to make sure I match it up just like that. So that's horrible, horrible. And it's not a job that I'm getting paid for. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't really do it that well. But especially if you're doing something that you're selling, you do need to write down. I do receipts and all of that, but I need to follow what Jeanette says on her channel about on her receipts. She has down the stabilizer, the thread color, the design. She has all of that pertinent information that you need, that she can keep a log of. So for repeat customers, if you do this thing again, you need to know exactly what it is that you used. And so I got to get a lot better with that. Even though I may be making something to give away, I still need to do that because if I need to repeat that situation, then I can't 100% do it because I may not get the exact color. I may get close to it because I got several colors that look the same. I got like 99 whites and 25 browns and 12, 13, 14 blue. It's like all these different shades, but they're just about the same. So you don't know until you stitch it out that it's not the same. So I definitely got to get better at that. Number 8, showcase and sell your work. One of the best ways to build confidence in your machine embroidery skill is to showcase and sell your work. You can create a website, a blog, social media page, or online store to display and market your products. You can also join a craft fair, flea market, or online marketplace to sell your products. Showing and selling your work can help you gain exposure, recognition, and income. It can also help you get feedback, testimonials, and referrals from your customers. Now, that's a good idea, but another thing, if you're trying to build a confidence up to see if your stuff is good enough to sell, instead of, you know, doing all of this blog and website and so forth and so on, you can stay within your circle And if you have the opportunity to do a display and you have items that you're basically giving away, and then people start asking you about it and wanting you to make a specific one for them, then that's when your opportunity comes to sell it. Say, sure, I'll make you one for X amount of dollars. You may not want to price it at that top level that you would if you actually was doing a business, but make you a few dollars off of it. If they think it's good enough to pay something for it, go ahead and do that because that's building your confidence. But I would let them know up front that I'm testing my I'm building up my confidence level on my skills. So I appreciate you liking this item and wanting me to make one for you. And so I can make this for you for X amount of dollars. Now, this is not going to be the actual price that I would sell it for. So you're getting it at a discounted price. And the reason I said to do that is because when your skill level gets to the point where you actually want to start selling stuff to make money and you decide to raise that price to the appropriate level, you don't want them coming back saying, "Well, you sold it to me for $5 and now you want 10." Yeah, I sold it to you a year ago for $5 because I had just started making them and I was honing my skills. Now my skills are up and the actual price to produce this product is $10. I'm sorry, that's what it is. And this is just an example, not, you have to figure out your own price. And I see, Leslie, where you wrote, because I'm kind of glancing, I'm not reading everything. I'll get back to a lot of this in a minute. But I did see something where you said your problem is how to price things. That's everybody's problem. That's mine too. I know for a fact I don't price my stuff correctly. And I know for a fact that I have lost a lot of money because I didn't price my stuff correctly. So it is a difficult challenge to figure out how to price your items. Now, as I was looking through things, and I didn't, um, because it was long and drawn out, but I saw this that uh, says it's downloadable craft pricing formula and downloadable calculator. And it's a tool to help you calculate your costs and prices for your craft. So that's just something that you can think about. It's so many people or so many ideas out here that people have thrown out about what what to charge, how to figure it out. This old notion about what was it, $1 per thousand stitches is not correct. It's never really been correct, and you don't need to go by that. I saw something today where it said something about double the wholesale price to get your price and stuff like that. Um, it's difficult. You have to put the value on your skill and your time. We know what we pay for stuff and how much everything costs, so that's easy to break down. They do have various calculators and formulas that you can use to break down how much per inch or how much per foot or whatever stabilizer is. So, you can figure that out. You got 10 yards, you use 1 yard, no, and you paid what, $30 and so forth. So that's $3 per, yard, whatever. You can figure that out. You can kind of guesstimate what it costs for your utility and your machine and what it costs to pay for your machine or what you're paying on your machine and the amount of stitches that you're putting on it. These things are uh, doable with the calculators and whatever, but your time and your skill level. What is your time worth? What is your skill level? I've seen people say, I won't turn my machine on. I saw that today. I won't turn my machine on for under $15. So that means If somebody wants you to embroider, I have a job where it's a left chest logo with 4 letters. Is that $15? What if I have a left chest logo with 10 letters or a picture? But do I add another $5 or $10 onto that? Make it 20, $25 for a left chest logo? I don't know. But like I said, this person said, I don't turn my machine on for less than $15. And it goes up from there. I don't know if that's a good price or not. I don't. I don't think that you should do anything less than $15 unless it's something super, super simple. And then it definitely shouldn't be less than 10. But I don't know. That's a hard question to answer, and I struggle with that. So I'm not the one that can say, "Oh, that's simple, that's easy." That's no, it's not because you don't want to overcharge and you don't want to undercharge. What is recommended is that you uh, research your area and see what the item similar to what you're doing is selling for. You can go on Etsy and look and see what they're selling their items for that are similar to what you're doing. And then you can go from there. That to me is a good radar to see. Okay, you go on Etsy. A good example would be the heirloom quilts, baby heirloom quilts. I think they're 24 by 36 inches, something. No, they're bigger than that. 36 by 42 inches, something like that. But anyway, usually they have 12 circular blocks. And on Etsy, I've seen where they're selling them with one design, I mean, a design on just one of the circular blocks. And they're selling those heirloom quilts for $70. Now, you can buy them in bulk and probably get them for $10. I know a place where you can, at least the last time I bought some, and that's been a year ago, so I can't tell you what they cost now, but a year ago, I was buying them for $13. Also, they have them on Etsy at certain places, blank, for $20 to $25. And I've paid $25 for a blanket. I've seen them on Amazon for around $20 to $25. So it just depends upon where you're buying them will dictate the cost. But even say you paid the $25 for the blanket, $75 for that one square, that one little round square is $70. Now, I don't know if that included the shipping and handling. I doubt it. I know it didn't include the tax, but that that's a pretty good that's a pretty good profit. I'm not upset about it. Uh, no, I'm not upset about it because it's not. You got to do it right. You got to do it right, and if you don't do it correctly, then you know people won't come back to you. But is that a fair price? Is that too much? Is it too little? What is it? I don't know. I don't know. But it's the going rate. And that's what you look at. It's the going rate. Now, would you want to sell yours for $70 or would you want to sell it for 65 or 68? You know, or 72, depending upon, you know, but you had to pay for it. I don't know. It would be up to you. But that's just a gauge. If you look at some of the, like if you do sublimation and you look at some of the tumblers that they're selling or the cups that they're selling, you can't buy a tumbler for under $25, $30 now and up. And those are just for the ones that are sublimated. I the last time I looked, if you got a rhinestone tumbler, you're in the hundreds of dollars. And I don't blame them for that because it's a lot of work. But just a sublimated tumbler. And I know what I have paid for my tumblers that I've gotten from Dytran or Condi. I know what I paid for them. And I know what my design costs. I know what my ink costs. So, in all honesty, I don't think that's a bad price. I don't. I really don't think that's a bad price because you got to make a little change. You got to make a little change. So, with that being said, I'm just telling you, in order to decide what to charge, you have to do your research and you have to look at what your potential customers are paying for like items, what your market area will will tolerate. Now, if you're going on Etsy, you have a large market area, so you have to look at that particular um, that particular market, something like Etsy. If you're looking at your area where you live, that's a totally different market. You may or may not have to charge that much, or you may have to charge more. If you don't have to charge for shipping, if people come and pick it up, then that may bring the price down. I don't know. If but then if they come pick it up, do you want that disturbance and people in and out of your house and stuff? I don't know. I don't think I would want that coming to pick my stuff up. But I don't want to drive around delivering stuff. Now I did, but I did it in a very small radius when I first started making masks. I delivered my mask, or I did ship them or delivered, though it just depends upon where it was. But if it was close around, I did. I drove to the place and dropped them off. So it just depends. Good night, Marina. I didn't get a chance to say hi to you either, but I'll talk to you on next well, Wednesday. Next Wednesday we'll all be getting together. So anyway, let me hurry up through this. So uh, keep learning and improving. That's number 9. Machine embroidery is a lifelong learning process. There is always something new to learn, discover, or try. Keep yourself updated on the latest trends, techniques, and tools for machine embroidery. Keep an open mind and a curious attitude. Seek new sources of inspiration and information. Keep learning and improving your skills and knowledge, and you will keep growing your confidence and your competence. And the last one, also very important, have fun and enjoy the process. You're not going to do this very long if you aren't having fun. You're just not going to. Machine embroidery is supposed to be fun and enjoyable, and it is. I love it. I truly love doing it. I fell in love with it when I got my SE 1900, and I have not done anything but loved it even more. Moving up to the 10 needle, to the Brother PR 1055X. I've always loved embroidery things anyway, and I thought they were always really pretty. And so the opportunity to actually do that myself for my own things and for other people just really brings me joy. And it's fun. Do not let stress, pressure, or perfectionism ruin your experience. Remember why you started machine embroidery in the first place and what you love about it. Enjoy the process of creating, expressing, and sharing your work. Have fun and be proud of yourself and your work. And that, I say, is the most important thing as far as getting your skill levels up to par where you feel the confidence to sell it, because you can do that. You very well can do that. Now let me go through here and see some of the comments and everything that I've been missing. Uh, and I miss Marina, and she said she watched more YouTube tutorials from her favorite channel than regular network TV. Yeah. And hi, Leslie. And Carol, hi, how are you? You say you and other creators have been so helpful on YouTube. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Every question I have had, I can find an answer from here. Thank you for all the time you put into helping me. And I do appreciate that. And it makes me feel good to know that I do help people. Now, I know Ann is gone and she was just saying hello. And she said she just got back from skiing. Well, bless your heart. You had fun. And Marina, I know she's gone, but she said she loves watching Power Tools with Becky, and she goes at it just at the right pace. So she loves watching her, and I do too. And Leslie, hi, how are you doing? And you say you watch more YouTube videos as and tutorials too, and you watch Becky. And hi, Betty. How are you? You said you watch YouTube every day, and when you go to bed, and you learn so much from this channel. Well, thank you. I do appreciate you watching my channel. Um, so everybody watches YouTube videos, and you say you're glad you caught this making memory bears in the hoop, and she did embroidery sweaters too. Now, Leslie, you said you found me, Shirley, and Jeanette when I looked for folks with the 1055X. And I was thinking about getting a mail code after watching Angela Jasmina, but I didn't want to do my own, do your own maintenance. So you decided, obviously, to get the brother, and you made a good decision. And hi to Aisha. And Leslie, look at my earlier items before getting my 1055X using the wrong stabilizer, no topping and everything. And Marina said that she loved watching, but now I have to work on not buying everything and trying too much at once. I get easily distracted by shiny objects. And Carol, you told Leslie that's how you found me too, looking for somebody that does the 1055X. And that's like I said, that's the reason why I work on the 1055X because I know it is not a lot of people out there that are doing tutorials and videos using the multi-needle machine, which is a shame because everybody needs that information as well. And Taisha, you said, I sold items as soon as I purchased my first embroidery machine over 35 years ago. I sold so many items, I paid the $5,000 it cost me for my single machine in the first year. And you can do that. You can just zip through it. And she said she wasn't looking to sell things when she purchased her machine. She was doing it for funds and gifts. But that does happen. If you start embroidering and you do anything that looks halfway decent, people are going to want to buy from you. That's just the way it is. And Becky, it sounds like we might need a support 12-step group program for buying stuff. And Taisha, Leslie, Jerry taught me how to embroider when I purchased my first machine. And then Leslie was saying she got her first machine from a place in Manassas, Burgers. It was a pre-loved machine for $1,800, and I was so scared to use it that I didn't use it for almost 3 years. Leslie, girl, stop doing that. And you said, now look at you now sewing on your 1055X. There you go. See, don't be afraid. And Leslie, later I went to the Quilt Expo when Judy's booth was first one when you entered the exhibit hall. I spoke to them and I paid to take a class to learn how to use the machine. And then Taisha says she started making tea towels, and the towels were the 7 Days of the Week towels by Martha Stewart. And I started gifting them. And when my friends had guests and they saw them, I got so many sales. And that happens. And that is what builds your confidence in selling. When people see what you make and they ask you to make something for them and they are willing to pay for it, let them. Let them. Now, I'm not, as I mentioned, you don't have to sell it at top dollar if you're not quite sure that you're there, but definitely sell it to them because you got to replenish your supplies. And when you start making a little money, your confidence grows as well, especially if that continues. If you're always getting some, when I say always, I don't mean like every day, every week, but if you are getting people that will ask you about something that you're wearing, and that's another thing, wear what you make. Advertise your stuff. Wear what you make. If you make something, a little tote or hat or whatever, wear what you make so people can see it. That's how you let people know, number one, that you do embroider or whatever your craft is, and they can see what it looks like, what the skill level is, and they'll fall in love with it. And that's when they'll ask you to make something for them. Do you make anything else? And take your pictures. Don't forget, like me. Because, like I said, I used to take pictures all the time and I got lazy on it. So I got to get back to that. But I take pictures, I have them in my phone, and people ask about stuff. And trust and believe me, I will pull my phone out and start going and finding pictures and start showing it to them. And people get intrigued. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that's cute. That's nice. How much you charge? That's the first thing gonna come out their mouth is how much do you charge? Which again, as we talked, that's a difficult question to ask, to answer, rather. And don't answer it on the spot. That's one thing that we have to learn to stop doing because when they want something, we don't know what the material is going to be, what the design is going to be, unless they want something exactly like what they're looking at. You are in the dark and you need to know what the challenge is going to be before you give them a price. You need to know what fabric they want, what blank they're wanting it on, t-shirt, hoodie, onesie, towel, blanket. What do they want you to do the work on? What design do they want? Do they need something digitized? Are they leaving this up to you? What are the colors that they want? Do they want something that has multiple colors and all of those things? Because you have to address all of that monetarily before you can tell them how much it's going to cost. And again, with the design, you need to know how many stitches. You need to know how many stitches. Not that you're going to do that dollar per thousand stitch, but you need to know how long this job is going to take, how easy or not easy it's going to be to hoop, what kind of stabilizer do you have to use, what size is it going to be, and how long is this going to take? Plus everything else that I talked about before you can give them a price. And that needs to be explained to them if they ask. Well, I can't tell you right now. I need more information. And I will we'll get together, talk about it, and discuss what it is that you're looking for, what it is that you want. And once I gather all that information, then I'll get back to you tomorrow, the next day, or whatever, and I'll be able to give you a price. Or you may have to wait to see exactly what the blank is and the materials made out of, exactly what the design is. If you got to have it digitized so you know how complicated that's going to be to stitch. And then you can say, okay, here's the price. This is what I'm going to charge you. So that's how you do that. Um, Let me see. Where did I leave off on? Leslie said the hooded towels was personalized with a name, and I had to add the design. And you made two for the person previously with personalization. And then you said you're going to do some reading pillows, and you see that people are charging $45. Yeah, yeah. There you go. Um, Leslie, you also said you got two of those heirloom quilt blanks for $13 from a site that I suggested, and you sold a hooded towel for $35 and got paid 40. So you have started selling stuff. Yay, yay. And Taisha, I was asked to embroider two pillowcases with the letter L. I said it would be $15, and when I delivered them, I was paid 25. See, you undercharged yourself. You undercharge yourself. You were comfortable with the 15 because that was an easy task. It was easy to you, but they don't know that it's easy. You still use your time and your 35 years of skill. Look at it this way. If you were on a job and they hired you, I'll put myself in the picture. When I first became a pharmaceutical rep, the initial starting salary was not a whole lot of money. I was a nurse. It was a little bit more than what I was making as a nurse. Wasn't a whole ton more, but it was more. But it wasn't this big huge salary. However, it did have great perks and all that, but it had the potential, and that's what intrigued me. It was a career, not a job. It had perks and it had potentials of growth. So every year I got better and better and better and better, improved, improved, improved. Start making all my goals, my plans, the quota, all of that kind of stuff. And I started moving up the line. I was getting promotions and stuff because my skills had improved. My salary went up. My salary went up. My salary went up. Taisha, your salary has gone up. Look at all these years of skills that you have. You got charged for it. Yes, it was easy to you. It should be because you have 35 years of experience. And you have 35 years of this is what you pay me because of my experience. That's how it works. That's exactly how it works. So when you start off, you're not going to charge the same thing for your work as you would when you've been doing it for years because you're better. You're going to do a better job. You know, is this a satin pillow case? Is this cotton? Is this rayon? Is this polyester? What is this a mixed blend? Whatever. You're going to know how to stabilize it, how to hoop it. You're going to know what font works best. You're going to know even the color. They may choose a color you know is going to be absolutely awful and makes a suggestion. Well, I know this is what you're wanting, but I tell you this will look a lot better, and this is why. If it's something that's colorful and they want this bright color, and you know that that's going to look a hot mess, you may decide that you want to step in and say, well, you might want to consider this. Let's get this out and look at it and put it up against the fabric and compare it to what they want and what you're suggesting and try to steer them in that way. Why? Because in the long run, they're going to like it better because it's going to look better. So that comes from your experience. So that is still part of your skill. And that's something that you can charge for. Um, let me see. What else? So, Robin, you say you're making more quilts. I've been thinking about you. I have been watching quilting videos. So, Taisha, you're watching quilting videos, and I knew, Robin, you were making more quilts. Liz, I didn't realize you were such a trivia expert. Watch Nancy on gifts. Okay. Uh, Hi, Mary. How you doing? Thanks for stopping in. And Rusty Nails and Twisted Threads just got here. How you doing? Don't worry about it because we're still here. And Rusty Nails and Twisted Threads, exactly. You might need more items like on Extra Hoops. You might need more backup thread. You might need pre-cut stabilizer to make the job go easier. And Taisha, you said it took me 5 minutes to stitch both pillowcases, but that's okay. 5 minutes because you had to steal. Whereas I know it would have taken me more than 5 minutes because I had to get it all, just figure stuff out to make sure I got it the way I wanted and then hoop it and put it on there. No big deal, but it would have taken me more than 5 minutes. I know that for a fact. It wouldn't have taken me a whole long time, but it would have taken me more than 5 minutes. It took you 5 minutes. Why? Because you have that skill. You knew exactly what to do and how to do it. You probably have already done it before. I've not done a pillowcase before. That's on my bucket. Well, not bucket list. That's on my list to do some bedding. I'm going to do pillowcases, and I'm also going to do the edges on the top sheet. That's something that I want to do because I think that's a good gift and something that I'm interested in. Now, I did some research again, and I ran across this checklist, and it's called an embroidery checklist, and it's like 3 pages. And it is below are helpful embroidery checklists to assist you in producing quality embroidery from pre-production step to the final inspection step of your finished embroidery pattern. And most of this stuff we are very much familiar with, but it just goes to tell you what you need to do when you are starting to do a project, and it helps you to determine whether or not you have produced a quality product. And pre-production sample, um, use a reputable digitizer or a design that has been digitized by a reputable design shop like Embroidery Library, Urban Thread, designed by Juju, Stitchtopia, um, who else? Creative Kiwi, Creative Applique. Who are the other people that I use? These are places that I will go to and get a design from without the fear that it's not going to stitch out correctly. Now, when you go to Etsy, which I still go to occasionally, you're not sure because you don't know. There are certain shops on Etsy that you may use over and over again because you realize they do good work. But you may, if you're just looking for something and you're not sure, then it's a crapshoot. You don't know if the design's going to be good or not. And I've had both. I've had good designs and bad designs. So it's a crapshoot when you go to Etsy. So just keep that in mind. Hi Trisha, how you doing? Thanks for stopping in. And you mentioned Ann on the Grand. I've done Ann on the Grand. I've done OESD. They're good as well. Um, Kimberbell, of course. Who else have I used that are reputable? It's a lot of good reputable shops out there. So those are the ones that have been around. They got big followers. They have um, good designs that you purchase from them, and they've stitched out good. Those are the ones that I embroidery design, sulky. Those are the ones that you should go to. Now, Trisha mentioned Buttercup embroidery. I'm not familiar with Buttercup, but I've seen their shop, and so that's the other thing. Take recommendations from other people that have worked with a shop. But I just wanted to throw out a few names. Also, throw out the fact that um, buyer beware when you go to Etsy. Not knocking Etsy at all because I get a lot of stuff from Etsy. So I'm not wanting to say, oh, don't go to Etsy. What I'm saying is be careful because you may or may not get good designs because everybody is out there. I did run across a design that I know after I purchased it and stitched it out, it had to have been an auto digitized. That was the worst design I've ever stitched out in my entire life. And I got back and let them know about it, and I never got a reply or I'm sorry or here's your refund or none of that from them. I don't even remember what the shop was because I'm pretty sure it's not around anymore. But it was very, I was very disappointed with that. And I've had other incidents where they didn't come out well. But I would venture to say 90, 85 to 90% of the ones that I've purchased have been good. So I'm not telling you not to do Etsy at all. I'm just saying don't be surprised if you run across a lemon. Now, Rusty Nails and Twisted Threads, you said Lenny Penny. I've heard of them. I've not used them. Um, but again, like I said, people will recommend places and give them a try. And two places that Trisha said Bunny Cup, Bunny like a rabbit, Bunny Cup, and Rusty Nails and Twisted Thread says Lenny Penny. So you can try those places as well. Um, it also says use proper stitch selection and make sure that your design looks correct and is legible. When you have your design, you got to check your spelling and lettering to make sure it's correct. Make sure the lettering type is clear and easily readable. Capital or small case font, spaced properly, size, boldness, height, and weight, color, and type of thread being used. Now, they mentioned font, which was interesting. I looked at, um, oh, I did it again. I don't know what that was about, but I looked at a question that popped up on one of the Facebook groups that I belong to, and this person um, had stitched out, I think it was a left chest logo for a person on a polo or on some kind of work shirt, and she used the same font, and she put the name on. I think the name was Chris, but the C was smaller than the rest of it, and of course the client was not happy with it. And so I put a comment in there as how to fix it, but also she didn't pay attention to that when she was getting ready to stitch it out. Now, I don't know what her software was or how she did it, but she did go through a software because she said that. And she didn't do a test stitch. Now, she should have done a test stitch because she was doing it for a client to make sure everything was going to stitch out correctly the way the client wanted it and get their approval. Now, that's what I would have done before putting it on the actual garment. You stitch this out, you send that to them, or they stop by and look at it, and they give their stamp of approval and say, yes, this is the right color, this is the right look, right font, right size, right, whatever, correct. Then you go ahead and do the actual product. She obviously didn't do that because had she done that, then they would have picked up on the fact that the C was smaller than the rest of the letters, and the C was the first letter in the name, and it was a capital C, but it wasn't as large as the lowercase h because the name was Chris. So those are just some things to look at when you're looking at the quality of your work because the person rejected the product and they weren't happy, and that's something that will go out. Now She was online asking how to fix it and should she fix it and what she should do about it and so forth and so on. And like I told her, I said, yeah, you got to fix it. You messed it up. They weren't happy. I did make a suggestion as how she could fix it and then moved on to that. But of course you got to fix it. They're not happy. I wouldn't want that either. So um, again, that's your reputation right there. So you got to make sure you have the correct thread and or the desired thread and all of that. The appearance, the sheen. Is it going to be shiny or is it going to be matte? And do they want specialty threads, so forth and so on? Is the design balanced? Um, is the embroidery too busy for the area? I had a situation last year and I didn't get this customer, and I'm glad because she would not have been a person that would have been satisfied. And I even did a live stream talking about a difficult and demanding customer, and it was based upon my experience with this person. But this particular person had this left chest logo that she wanted on toddlers kid on toddler shirts, TT, and it was so busy. It was ridiculous. It was so busy. You never could get that. It could not get digitized correctly. It never did. I sent it back 3, 4 times, and they could not digitize it correctly because it was too much in too small of a space, really too much and too grown for kids. But she didn't listen. I don't know what she decided to do later on. Took her stuff and went on about her business, and I was glad of that. But you can have issues like that. Every design is not meant to be put on a left chest logo or on a particular size or on a particular um, product or material, fabric. So those are things that you have to be aware of. You have to step up and say, this is not going to work, which I did. This is not going to work, and it didn't work. She was demanding. I was trying to be accommodating, but I had to let her know. I'm not sending this back to the digitizer anymore. It's not going to work. I'm not happy with the results and you're not happy with the results. This is not going to work. And that's it. Move on. Um, is the design too dense or too heavy for the product? You can have what they call bulletproof designs where it is so dense that when it stitches and then like putting it on like a knit like a t-shirt and you have 100,000 stitches or something ridiculous in a small space and it's like a bulletproof vest. It won't even, there's no flexibility in it because it's so dense and thick and everything. That's not an appropriate design um, to go on a t-shirt. And I've done it before. Lesson learned. This was not what you should have done. So it's all a learning process. Uh, did it get hooped correctly? That's very important. Is getting it hooped correctly to make sure that it is taut enough or not too tight where you're going to have puckering and distortion and get it out of registration. So those are things that you have to pay attention to. Um, and it mentions the basing, the topping rather on the top or the back to make sure you have both correctly done. I saw the other day somebody had a design and they had a water soluble topping on it, and I couldn't figure out why they thought they needed it. I didn't ask the question. I was just scrolling through, looking at it on Facebook, and I just couldn't. It didn't register to me why they did that. So sometimes, people, I don't know, they make decisions that may or may not make sense. but everybody does things their way. But you need to know what you're doing. Um, your needle size, your thread, your bobbin, and I mentioned hooping it correctly and all of that, and then the measurements. And make sure that you have good needles that aren't dull. That because if you have needles that are dull or chipped or whatever, you're going to get breaking. You're going to get your bird nest and things like that. If your bobbin isn't in correctly, you're going to have your bird nest. So you don't want anything that's going to interrupt your stitching. Even remembering to check your bobbin before you start your project to make sure, if at all possible, you have a whole bobbin. I always try to make sure I start a project with a whole bobbin unless I know that it's not going to take a lot. It's a small something that I'm doing that's not going to use up a lot of thread. Then I would use a bobbin that isn't full because I don't throw them away. I keep them and I use them when it's appropriate because that's money. But if I start a design or start a project that I know is going to be a lot of stitching, I like to start off with a full bobbin because I don't want to have to stop and put a bobbin in the middle of the design. Not that it's an issue, but I don't like doing that because once you do that, you need to remember to back your stitches up a few stitches back because you don't want any skips. And some people remember to do that and some people don't. So that's why I like to have a full bobbin so I don't have to worry about that. And after sewing, it mentions registration, distortion because of the hoop, the alignment and the positioning, uh, the pull of the registration, and alignment is important. I'm pretty sure most of you, when you're hooping your uh, project, unless you're using the hooping station, you probably have it on a table that has your cutting mat or something where you have your grid and everything. At least that's what I do. I always have mine on there. And I try to line up my hoop to make sure it's straight before I hoop it. And that way you can kind of make sure that you're putting it in the hoop straight and it's not off a little bit. Because if it's off a little bit, then when you put it on there to stitch it out, it's going to be crooked off. And I've seen people, again, on these Facebook groups and what have you, that will put a picture up and want to know what happened, how come it didn't stitch out straight, and I hooped it and this happened and that happened. And if you didn't hoop it straight, it's not going to stitch straight unless you know how to get it straight on your machine. And thank goodness on our brother machine, we can straighten it. You can get it straight, but it's easier if you go ahead and straighten it before you hoop it. So um, that is pretty much it um, that I wanted to talk to you all about as far as building your confidence to make sure that you want to or you can sell. Because stop giving your stuff away. I'm not saying open up a shop. I'm not saying start a business. I'm not saying any of that. What I am saying is that stop giving all your stuff away. You can make you a little change. Don't think that your stuff is not good enough to sell. If you think it looks good, if your friends and families and neighbors and co-workers and whoever has seen your stuff thinks it looks good, then it looks good. You can make a little change off of it. So build your confidence on that. And then Rusty Needle, you said Sonia Showwater Designs by Baby Moon. I've seen the Baby Moon and Designs by Little B. Forgot about Designs by Little B. I use her as well, especially if you're doing those little books and the little uh, sanitizer holders and stuff like that, sheet and key fobs and all that stuff. She has all of those things on there. And thank you, Becky, for reminding people to put thumbs up. I do appreciate that. That is so important for the channel to get that thumbs up, the thumbs up, the thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. I know there are people that watch my videos. They watch the channels on YouTube and they watch my live, which is also streaming on YouTube and Facebook. And what I have found, which I find it to be interesting, because we get the analytics and we look at them, and I'm like 50-50. 50% of the people are subscribed and 50% of the people are not. And I don't understand that. I don't understand the concept other than the fact that you just forget to do it. Because I mean, it doesn't cost anything to click the button. Just click the button. And while you're clicking that subscribe button, go ahead and click that thumbs up button and that notification button and hit that bell, all of that. And the share as well. Share the video to the people you think will benefit from it. And then I also love the comments. I love the comments. I appreciate those that comment and that they like what I do and thank me for it and stuff. But I also like the comments where you ask me questions. So if you have a question, if you look at a video and you have a question, feel free to put that question in the comment, because I look at my comments. I try to look at them every day, and but I will get back to you. I'm not going to promise you I'll get right back to you as soon as you put it in there, but I will get back to you. I will make some type of reply. So if you have a question, feel free to ask me the question. I don't care. I've had people ask me, where did I get the design from? And I will take the time to look and try to figure out, where in the world did I get this design? And once I remember or find out where I got it, then I go back and put on there where I got the design from. Because obviously you like the design and you want to. And I've done the same thing. I've asked, where did you get the design? And people have responded to me. So I do appreciate the comments, but the thumbs up are very important, and the subscribing is very important. And don't forget that I do have the memberships that are available. There's 3 levels. I also am eligible for super chats, super thanks, super whatever, stickers, all of that stuff, that helps the channel to be able to afford to get the things that I need to do the different projects and stuff that I need, that I'm doing. So I do appreciate all that. And Christian, you saying good night. I didn't see you on there. So hello and good night. And thanks for stopping by. Um, and Trisha, you said, I think I saw the same post. Oh, okay. With the um, that question that with the Chris and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, that was kind of interesting, where she was asking that question about it. So yeah, I belong to several groups and on Facebook, and I go through them. I get notifications and all of that, just like you guys do. And sometimes I respond, and sometimes I just learn from them, especially if they're problems, because if they bring up a problem, I want to see what people are saying the solution is. If my solution is the same as their solutions, or they can come up with a better way of doing something, then I learn. So I like looking at stuff like that, just like I like looking at other YouTube content creators that do embroidery and stuff. Hi, Pam. How are you? And you say, I want to say that I really enjoyed this chat and hope to participate in many more. Well, thank you, Pam. I do appreciate that. I try to, like I said, I try to provide useful information. That's my goal. I try to provide useful information when I'm doing my demos on the channel. And as the year goes on, I'm going to go ahead and pay Streamyard so I can use a second channel And that way I may be able to do a few little demos and stuff, something quick and simple when I'm doing the lives. So, like I said, I'm trying to come up with various ways to entertain or to present this year because I do want to grow. And the only way that I'm going to grow is to get more people to participate, more people to watch, and more people to actually subscribe. And again, like I said, the thumbs up, very important. And you may say, why? Because that's what YouTube wants. That's what they look at when they're doing the analytics. And the analytics are the data that the computer generates and all that stuff based upon certain criteria. And are you meeting these criteria? And if you are showing YouTube computers that I watch, so too we begin embroidery. I like what is being said on that. And I'm sharing this information and I'm watching it all the way through, or at least a good 10-15 minutes, then that makes them want to push my channel up closer to the top where more and more people can discover it. Because when you go on YouTube, I don't know if you've ever paid any attention to it, and if you're just browsing, you get some of the top people that are there all the time. If you're searching, you have to put specific search words in to find certain videos or tutorials or whatever the answer to your question is. And you'll be surprised if you don't word it a certain way, you won't find it. Not to say it's not available, you just won't find it. But the more people watch a certain channel, the more YouTube pushes it to the top. Therefore, more people watch. So it's like it just rolls that way. The more you say yes, the more you get. The more you say yes, the more you get. So the more thumbs up I get, the higher up the level I go. The more thumbs up I get, the higher I go, and on and on and on. And that's with all channels, and that's how the channels grow. That's how people are able to get so many subscribers, because you get subscribers from people that watch and people that join. If you're not going to subscribe to me if you can't see my channel. You're not going to see my channel if they don't put it out there where you can find it. So it's a catch-22 situation. And also on my part, I have to put more content out here. That much I know. That also helps with the growing. The more content I put out, the more people will find it because there's more to find, and then it grows. So that is on me as well to do more, which is also my goal for this year, is to do more. My goal is to do at least 3 videos per week. That includes my live stream. So this makes number 2 for the week, because I did one yesterday. I'm doing this one, but I also have already done number 3, because as soon as I get off here, I'm going to go ahead and edit my video that I did earlier today and upload it. So that means I will have 3 for the week. So I knew I was getting my tooth pulled, and I wanted to get it out the way. If I'm lucky and I feel like it, I might get a number 4 this week, which is what I want to do, because I only got 2 last week. So I'm trying to do a catch up. But my goal is to have at least 300 videos by the end of the year. And the less stressful way of doing that is to do an average of 3 videos per week. So that is my 2024 goal. And that should help me get my numbers up, my subscriptions up, and all of that. But I'm gonna have to put a little icon that walks across here with a little thumbs up. I know I can get it, and I need to see how to be able to put that on there so we can remind people. But for now, I just have the ticker taste running by. Don't forget to give a thumbs up, subscribe, and get notified for my videos and weekly live streams. So that's what the ticker tape says. Um, so what else do we have here? So I know that, and I didn't say hi to my son that popped in, and who else? Now, Rusty Nails and Twisted Threads. I'm going to ask you a question. Were you the one that I said a couple of weeks ago, one last week, it was the week before, that said something about reaching out to me about an expo or a vendor um, event that's coming up that you wanted me to participate in? I'm not sure if that was you. I didn't hear from you or that person. So since you're on here, can you let me know if that was you or not? If you're still here? And if so, please reach out to me. Um, so I'll wait for your answer. Just you can put a yes or a no. If it wasn't you, it was somebody else that did mention that. And if it was you, then I'll put my email up so you can write it down so you can reach out to me. But I'm not sure if that was you or not. It was somebody, and I got to go back through that video and look at the chat to see who exactly that person was if it was not you. Because I'm not sure who it was. I didn't hear back from the person, so that's why I'm asking. Because I did mention that I would be interested in that. Um, so we have our first 2024 sew along or stitch along coming up a week from tomorrow. A week from tomorrow on the 24th. I'm excited. I have all of my material. I have my SF 101, and Joanne has it on sale right now. So if anybody needs it and they haven't gotten it yet, you might want to check out Joanne and get it. And they're selling a bolt. I think it's 10 yards on the bolt. 20-inch by 10 yards is what it said. And it was like 30 some odd dollars. So, you don't need 10 yards. But I just mentioned that because I think Leslie told me that she bought a boat um, during the Christmas time. I didn't get a boat, but I do have quite a few. I got several yards, so I would have enough for any upcoming designs that's coming through because it was on sale. And I got my batting and I got my materials. So I am happy. It's going to be really, really cute because it's all, I'm doing um, Easter Bunny runner. And with all these different colorful Easter egg looking colors. And I went and bought a bunch of fabric like crazy, way more than what I needed. But I like so many of those really cute colors that I just bought because it was on sale too. So I did all of that and I got it done. But I haven't cut anything out yet, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and do that because I want to have everything cut out and ready to go when we meet up next week. And that is my suggestion and recommendation to everybody that's participating. And at this point, I think there is 11 of us that's participating, which is pretty cool. And I'm happy about that. So I think we're going to have a good time. And Leslie, you say you got a boat of SS 101 from Tax Free Delaware doing Thanksgiving. Okay, that's when you got it. Okay, and I'm thinking it was on sale when you got it. So that was pretty cool to do that. And Robin, you said you're doing the gnomes in fabric from your stash. There you go. I don't have stash fabric. I'm gonna have to get like you guys and start buying fabric when I see fabric just for the heck of buying fabric. Because I only buy fabric when I need it. Now, I did buy a little bit more than what I needed. So, with that being said, I will still have an accumulation, a small accumulation of fabric going forward. And I do have fabric, but my fabric, the majority of my fabric, like I mentioned before, are fat quarters. So, it's not enough of it. Although for this runner, the pieces I would have had enough, but I didn't really have anything that was cute that I wanted to use for a Easter type pastel type stuff, and that's what I'm gonna have to. And I stopped buying fat quarters because I don't one I don't need anymore, and two I'm not doing masks anymore, and that was the reason why I was buying all the fat quarters. So now I'm just gonna buy fabric by the yard, catch stuff on sale, and just start accumulating some fabric and stuff so I can have it. And Leslie said, I haven't decided yet on which of the table runners you're going to make. Okay. Uh, if you're doing design by Juju, which I am, and I think several other people are doing the design by Juju table runners, and just wanted to remind you that the pattern comes with the stippling or the edge to edge or whatever you want to call it, the quilting already built into each block. So we're not going to be able to do the edge to edge if you do that particular design. But don't worry about it. We have other stuff that we can choose to do coming up um, that can include that. And since I'm not going to be under stress to move, then I know that we can do several more uh, sew-alongs this year, so we have plenty of time to do a project that is edge to edge. And Becky, you say you're going to do the Halloween run. Okay, there you go. I wanted something going towards spring, and so I'm not big on Halloween designs, but they got a really cute Halloween runner, and they also have. And Leslie, I think you mentioned something about buying the runner that went with the nativity skirt because they do have that runner. Of course, they do have some Christmas runners. They have some summer runners. They have 4th of July runners. They got a lot of different things to choose from. They have Thanksgiving stuff as well. So it's a lot of options out there. A lot of options out there, whatever it is that you want to make. But my mind was on spring because I'm trying to get out of this winter as fast as possible. Hey, well, nothing that had to do with winter, so that meant Christmas. And I'm Christmas out for now. I don't want to do anything for Christmas before Christmas for July. And Leslie, you say you had the nativity table run already. I thought that you said you bought that, but you haven't made it yet, though. I don't think so. That's a thought. That's a thought. If you want to go that route. And Taisha, their runners are 60% off right now. Okay, they've come down because I think no, they were 60% off when I got mine too. So good. And Leslie, you said you'll do the Easter one or the fall one. But yeah, their runners are running, if I'm not mistaken, the last time I looked, I think they were 40% off because I think I got mine 50% off, but they're 60% off now. So that makes them a few dollars cheaper. Let me see what they're saying right now. Designed by Juju in the hoop design. In the hoop designs are 60% off. Uh, $10. They have this Northwood table runner for $8. Not into that one. They're trying to sell they got the mug rugs and the pot holders and the placemats and running all that stuff for this moose and bear and stuff. That's not my cup of tea. It's cute, but that's just not me. So I'm not into that. But they do have their runners at $10 right now. You can get, and that's what I paid for mine. So I guess I did get it for 60% off. They have the leprechaun. They have a Valentine one coming up, but we won't be done until after Valentine. They have, oh my goodness, they have so many of them. It is just, if you can't find something, then you're not looking for something. Because they have a ton of runners, a ton of them, and they're all on sale. And so, Val, you said you decided to do the juju as well. So you decided not to do the quilt as you go, and you think you're doing the bees. Somebody else is doing the bees. The bees are really cute as well, and I know it's somebody else that mentioned they were going to do the bees. So that's going to be really, really cute. I thought about doing that one as well, so I know that it's really, really cute. That was, I think, my second choice. I was teetering between the bees and the one that I chose. And Becky, you say you had the Easter runner too. I might try to do it also, and the wall hanging like the scarecrow, Elsa said. Okay, go ahead and show out. You gonna do all, and she is going to do all of those things plus her quilting design while we're doing our stuff. So yeah, she's gonna do all and then do it on a single needle machine. Come on now. But yeah, now I have the Santa wall hanging, and I thought about doing that, even though Christmas is over, as one of the, and this, I'm just throwing this out, what you guys think. I'm not planning on doing this for the so along because I'm not Becky and I'm not Robin. I can't just whip this stuff, and I'm not Taisha. I can't just whip this stuff out fast, fast, fast like that. But I, as I said, I'm making videos. I'm trying to do at least 3 videos a week. And because I did do the Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus uh, wall hanging, I purchased them and I didn't get around to doing them for this Christmas. I thought about doing them anyway just to do a video, even though Christmas is over with. So I know what I'm going to do. I already know the answer to it. So I'm going to wait till Christmas in July. That's what I'm going to do. It makes more sense because I am going to do them and I want to do them and get them out the way so I don't get stuck for Christmas and not get my all of my Christmas stuff done. The other thing that I want to do, and I mentioned that to the Sew Along group, I want to do the Advent calendar. So I would hope that we can make that as one of our projects for the year. I really, really want to do their advent calendar. I think that would be a good project to do. So that's another project on my mind. Now I don't have any other suggestion for any other projects, even though I said I want to do three of a minimum of three this year. Since I'm not moving, we might even be able to do four if you guys are in for it, but definitely a minimum of three. And we're doing the runner now, the table runner. I definitely want to do the Advent calendar, and I'm thinking about having that as our Christmas in July um, project. Now we're going to get done with this in February, so we certainly can start something in March if you guys want to. And I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but that's just my thought. But I don't know what that would be. I would like it to be edge to edge, like we had said we were going to do. So, with that being said, it could possibly be some type of quilt or quilting design. So, think about it, and we can talk about it at our Zoom meeting. Um, as we're chit chatting and thinking about it. But I think that would help us be able to accomplish what we didn't accomplish for this particular table runner. Because if we all do design by Juju table runner, she has added into her design the quilting, so we don't have to add any quilting, which would have been what we would be doing if we did the edge to edge. So I just wanted to bring that out. Um, and Taisha, you said I would like to do the exchangeable pillows. I see those are becoming popular because Shabby Fabrics did one on their channel. That would be a good idea. I have a pattern that I got from Design by Juju for the exchangeable pillows. I've already have one, so that would be great. And they are making one a month. Okay, I didn't know that, but uh, that's cool. That's cool. That's a good thought. We can talk about that on next Wednesday as a potential project. And like somebody else had mentioned, that might have been Andrea. I'm not sure. Somebody else had mentioned that. But I already bought it during the holiday when they had them on sale then. So I bought the design for the exchangeable pillows because I thought that that would be a good project to do. So thanks for bringing that up. We might be able to throw that one in. And so anybody else come up with any ideas? That's cool. And we have one more week before we do the start the Zoom. So if there's anybody out there that is interested in participating that has not made contact with me, then please do. Um, this is my email. We are going to do it we're starting on January the 24th, which is next Wednesday. Our starting time is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I know if you're in another time zone, you have to take that into consideration, what time it will be for you. Because at 7 o'clock here, it's 4 o'clock out in California, 5 o'clock out in where the heck is um what's the next time zone out in Nevada. Um, when you get to the Midwest, it would be 6 o'clock, and then here. So that's uh, I guess Texas. I guess that's where Becky is. Instead of starting at 7, she starts at 6, if I'm correct. I think that's her time frame. And no, starts at 5, I guess. Are you Midwest? Are you um, is that called Mountain Time? You got Pacific Time, Mountain Time, Midwest, Eastern. I don't know if that's that time zone. The time zone between the Pacific time zone and the Midwest or Central. Texas. Texas is in Central, isn't it? I think so. I think so. But anyway, you know what your time zone is and what time it'll be. Because it's Eastern Standard Time where I am. And so 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time is going to be different the further west that you go. So it's an hour earlier every time zone you pass through. Just keep that in mind. But I'm open. Let me know. So uh, I guess it's time to shut it down and say goodnight to everybody. I do appreciate everybody that stopped by to say hi, stop by to listen, stop by to participate. Hopefully, you got something out of this conversation tonight. And I'm going to go ahead and say goodnight to everybody. And I will be talking to you guys, if it's the Lord's will, next Tuesday. So you guys take care. I'm going to hop off of here so I can go ahead and edit my video and put it up. So take care. Good night.